Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Gimpy. I'm here with, as you can see, Field Commander Napoleon. Before we get started, this is just going to be the quick intro setup video. It's a few days before Christmas, and I wanted to make sure and let you guys know that I am going to be taking a little bit of time off for Christmas so I can focus on my family, spend some time with the wife and the kids. You married fellas out there understand what I'm talking about. So after Christmas, I will be starting back up with filming and playthrough of Napoleon and Lock and Load Tactical, some more Unconditional Surrender, and a few other mystery games I've got lined up for you guys. So just be aware you probably won't see a few videos coming up for me for about a week or so I can spend some time with the wife and the kids. But alright, been poking around at Field Commander Napoleon. This is one that I've had my eye on for a while, and I chose it as my extra game with Sherman Leader when I did the Kickstarter backing on it. And honestly, if I had known how good this game was then, I might have picked something else and just gone ahead and bought this then, because I think back, I'm like, wow, all those months I could have been playing this, and I was waiting on it. For some reason, I just was like, all right, I'll start filming DVG stuff as soon as my Sherman Leader gets in. I had a few games waiting around, to get on camera, but now all of a sudden it's like I've got this one and Gatto and Sherman and a couple others. Just DVG has really bit my butt here recently, and it's partly because this is so good, Sherman Leader is so good, and I'm excited to try out Gatto Leader. I was actually able to find a shrink wrapped copy of Hornet Leader, so I really want to get the Cthulhu expansion for that. Would love to have a DVG game with Cthulhu. And then I'm excited because they have that, I think it's called 1500 is the game. They've got that on Kickstarter, and that's going to be coming out not too long from now. They have a Corsair Leader that's getting ready to hit Kickstarter, so definitely looking forward to that. That's going to be an auto buy for me, Corsair Leader, because I love that period of time frame. I would go nuts for that one. Alright, but enough of me ranting. Field Commander Napoleon campaign game, and I gotta say, I like the fact that it's actually got a small footprint. If you have to travel for business or something like that, this is a DVG game that you could travel with, because at most you need enough space to lay down one of these little mounted boards that you can see aren't that big. There's a handful, about 7 of them, that come with the game, and you need enough space to lay out your battle map. But if you needed to, you could move your campaign map out of the way, lay out your battle map, which we will get to when we get into the playthrough, which is actually, this is nice. It's mounted as well. On the back of the box, it said the battle sheet, so I thought that was going to be cardstock, but it's actually mounted as well, so I was thrilled about that one. Like I said, the game comes with about 7 mounted maps, and they're not too big, and if you look to your left side, that's where it shows you what setup it is for what year campaign you're going on. The first one, your intro campaign, is 1796. And just like everything DVG does, once you've read the rule book, you pretty much have the game, and you can just walk through your setup and you're good to go. That's what I love about everything of their games, is you can pretty much start, top to bottom, left to right, however they have it set up on the board, and it's on the board. Sequence of play right here. Start at the top, work your way down. Set up, start at the top, work your way down. Same thing when it comes to, here, let me slide these counters off of this. Comes to the battle sheet that comes with the game. This is what you'll get into when you guys see when we actually play battles. Same thing. Start at the top, work your way down. Start at the top, work your way down, and you're done. I love how they have everything set up like that, so it's easy sequence of play. You don't have to look things up. You know what you're doing next. Let me pan the camera over here, show you guys a close-up spot of what's on the board, and we'll go over it real quick. Alright, like I said, their setup for all their games is generally fairly easy. This game is a different. I was looking at it at first, I was like, okay, this is going to be, a little interesting trying to get all these forces on the board. It's really not hard at all. The scale, it just tells you how big the counters are representing, how big the forces are supposed to be. Supply points, it shows you how many supply points. I'll put the icon up in the upper left for you guys. You're going to start with France 3, and the enemy will start with 8 in this one. You will use your supply points for many things in this game, for buying counters or scouts to help with rerolls, or upgrading or repairing your units, or buying new units, not upgrading units, but refitting them. Supply points, they go quick, but they are great when you have a bunch of them. Starting forces, right here, France, it lists down what your forces are, and it's going to be like that for each one. If you have forces in multiple locations, it'll list down the location on the board. Like, I'm assuming NICE in France is going to be Nice and not Nice. So it shows that all Napoleon's forces on this campaign are going to start in one area, Nice, and then it lists down for your enemy forces. If it doesn't say France, like here, it just says Piedmont, Austria, those are the enemy forces that are going to be on the board. Now, if it has a 2 on it, like it does right here next to Dicat, however you pronounce that, that means that there are 2 counters representing that commander. So you need to make sure you get both counters when it comes to it. Same thing, so it shows a couple of different areas here, which we'll show on the board here in just a second. Late arriving forces are not going to be put on the board in the beginning. They're going to be placed off to the side, and there'll be a condition that's going to cause them to come on the board, whether it's time or you reaching a certain part of the map. This one, if you enter in either of 2 forces, I'm going to butcher this, Lanado or Mantua, if you enter in either one of those forces, then these forces come on the board, and then it goes over your victory conditions. This one is relatively easy in the fact that you only have to hold 2 objectives from March onward, or the campaign ends in defeat. So basically from turn number 1, you've got to have 2 objectives and hold on to them throughout the campaign, throughout the whole game. Objectives, this is where you're going to take, and again, your objective counters, the blue, white, and red little counters with a little, I don't know what that equal symbol is supposed to be. I guess that was Napoleon symbol. Those are going to be placed on certain areas of your map. Those indicate obviously your objectives. So those are the key places that you're going to try to hold, and then it will help direct the enemy forces on the board. Battle plans, we'll go over this more when we get into the actual battles, but it shows you if you don't start with Napoleon, how many you get. If you do start with Napoleon, you get his rating amount, and then it shows you how many your enemy is going to receive. Each one of the campaigns is going to have a special little rule attached to it. For this one, it's a simple one. It just gives one area of the map an extra garrison and fortification. So let's pan back to the entirety of the map. Okay, so as you can see, I've already got the campaign set up. I've got the objective counters here on the board where they go as listed down in the setup. My forces, again, all start right here in Nice. I've got them set up, and any city that starts with just French forces in it is also going to receive a fortification and a garrison. Any city on the campaign map, and cities are this little icon here, that has enemy forces or is vacant will get a enemy fortification and garrison. So you'll have to place those here, 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 and all the way around. And be mindful of the special rule that gives Mantua down here a couple extra fortifications and garrisons. So those are on the map. Here are the 2 stacks of enemy forces ready to start their campaign against me, if I wouldn't keep knocking these little things over. And then we've got our turn marker here on the board. Make sure that your turn marker is actually here at the start spot, and when you start your sequence and play that you do move it over here to March. It doesn't stay here. That would give you an extra turn, so you are going to move your turn marker there on the first turn. And then you have a just handy little marker here for representing what area of the map your combat's going to be on when it gets to that spot. Everything else you'll take, brain farted out there for a sec. Take and set your enemy battle plans here in a cup to the side, so you can have those when it comes time to draw them for combat. And then take the enemy recruit forces and you will also place them in another crappy bowl off to the side. And when enemies are defeated on the campaign map, they will be placed in that cup as well to be drawn from, so it's possible for you to defeat them and then them to come back as reinforcements later. But it's also possible for you to get your own forces back as reinforcements. The rest of the counters, the supply counters, your recruit counters, battle counters, insight counters, all that stuff that we'll get into in the course of the game can be set off to the side because you can choose from those on your own. Only other thing you got to put on the board is your supply counters that you start with. 3 for Napoleon's forces, 8 for the enemy forces, and now you are set up to play. The game is easy to grasp once you've read through the rulebook, not hard. You guys will definitely love this. I have played through it a couple times already and always enjoyed myself with it. Although I have an interesting battle strategy. I love buying a bunch of cannons and just blasting the enemies as they march towards me. But you guys will see that post-Christmas when I start filming again. Be on the lookout for Turn 1, Field Commander Napoleon, like I said, and some more Lock and Load Tactical and GMT stuff. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next video.